How's it going? Welcome to another Martian Minute. I've been sick for the last few days, so I really didn't think I'd do a video today, but as I was reading God's Word, I felt God was speaking to me, and I just decided to share it when I found a little break that I could get this video done. You should be familiar with the story of David and Goliath. It's in the Bible. It's not hard to find. Long story short, David, a shepherd boy from Israel, takes a fight against Goliath. Goliath is a huge giant of the Philistine army. And a lot of times when we think of that story, we remember David, we remember the giant, and we just think, David walked up there, hit him with a stone, and then took his sword and cut his head off with it. But there's more to that story. That giant talked, okay? And a lot of times when we face a giant, we're defeated by the words that the giant says long before he ever draws his sword or his spear. And, last week I took on a giant. I'm not going to get real specific because I don't want anyone here to realize what I'm talking about, but I took on a giant that I see as attacking. When David fought Goliath, it was more than just David versus Goliath. That giant was the figurehead of the enemy army. That giant represented death and destruction for David personally, for David's family, and for David's nation. Okay? And so a lot of times when we face giants, we don't realize what's at stake. And you can notice a giant that's just for you. You can notice a giant that's just against your family, and then there are giants that are against you, your family, and your whole nation. And that's one of the giants I took on last week, and then I got real sick, and that giant scored a blow on me that I wasn't expecting. That giant talked, and a lot of times we forget that giant's going to talk. And one thing I was thinking about this morning was, and I just opened my Bible and started reading. And in Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 16, it's talking about an enemy that God's going to send against Israel. And it says, their quiver is like an open grave. Okay? Those are strong words. Their quiver is like an open grave. Now, this isn't something that Jeremiah just made up. He got it from David. David... he didn't just fight a giant, he also became a king, and he was also a poet and a singer, and he wrote a bunch of songs and psalms. And if you go back to Psalms, that'll be the first time you see this. It's worded a little bit differently. And this is in Psalms chapter 5, verse 7. I enter your house by the abundance of your faithful love. I bow down toward your holy temple in reverential awe of you. Lord, lead me in your righteousness because of my adversaries. Make your way straight before me. For there is nothing reliable in what they say. Destruction is within them. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongues. So that's the other mention that you'll find in the Old Testament, which is where Jeremiah got it, although he worded it a little differently. And he connected the arrows and the speech of the enemy with an open grave. And I want you to know that when you fight giants, you have to remember that giant's going to talk back, okay? It's not just going to be you take one shot at them and then they fall down dead, okay? Them giants are going to talk. And you can't let that talk defeat you. I wasn't defeated per se. It never really, I'm human. I'm human just like you, and sometimes it hurts when people say things, okay? But, I wasn't really going to share this, but I'm just going to go ahead. I've started this new thing, the Martian Minute. It's really going to be more about the Paul on Mars thing, which I haven't started doing yet. But what that originated from is I'm doing some online ministry. You see some of it right now that you're watching. This is just quick stuff I do on my lunch break or at my house or something, or when I'm waiting for school to start. But Another thing I do is I do online ministry. I used to do it, and then I quit. One of the reasons I quit was when you're online live, people there's an ability for people to type, to chat, while you're while you're talking, and I know how to turn it off. I just forgot to do it. And one night, as I was leading a Bible study, it was horrible. I'm just gonna say that it was horrible. There were about 2 or 3 people in there just going, saying all kind of horrible things about me, about God, about and I just shrugged it off. But it like an arrow, it had stuck in me. It had festered, and months went by. I never did another video. And one of the things that I started this year off with a fast, and this is the main thing I was praying about, was this online ministry, because I'm just busy these days with school and with a new baby, and you know what it's like. But one of the things, I let that giant talk to me, and I was defeated. Okay, and I've learned a lesson from that. And this weekend, when that giant talked to me, now I thought ahead. When I took this giant on, I asked for help from other people, support. Some people showed up, some people didn't. And don't try and figure it out. You won't be able to figure it out. This isn't something you're going to figure out. But that giant talked back, okay? And that's my message today. We are giant killers as a Christian, as the church body. Every one of us, because David didn't kill that giant, God killed him. But David is the one who had to step out there in front of 2 armies, okay, and endure all the crap that giant talked about him, about his homeland, about his family. He had to listen to all of that, and he still had to trust God that when he threw that rock, it would kill a giant. Okay, and that's a message for all of us. We have the power. If we trust in God, if we put our faith in God, we can face giants. We can face whatever is out there. You can't see what's coming. I can't see what's coming. But just be aware that giant, when you do fight that giant, it will talk back, okay? And you got to be focused on the Word. You got to be focused on God. You got to be praying. And yes, you can lean on your brothers and sisters for support. But trust in God above all, okay? All right, that's my message for today. God bless you. I hope to see you back soon.